Hi guys, V here. I'm here to do a little tutorial of 3 different ways you can do masking for your junk journals. This isn't everybody's cup of tea. It's just mine with a little sugar and cream. So I hope that you guys like it and it's helpful. I believe there's other tutorials out there how some of the ladies do theirs. I'm an impatient person and I don't like to let mine dry, say in the sun or something, so I do mine a little different. So I'm just going to show you the supplies real quick. This might be a 2-part video because there's a lot to show. So let's get started. Of course, you're going to need whatever papers you're going to use. And I tend to, like this one's avocado dyed. These are tea dyed, again, tea dyeing. So you're going to need paper. And then these are the other supplies. You're going to need an old spray bottle, and I fill it with as hot water as I possibly can in here, and as you can see it is warped where I put really hot water. So you're going to need one with warm water. You're going to need instant coffee. Now when I dye my papers, I dye them with brewed coffee and then dry them in the oven. And then I come back in and use my instant coffee. You're going to need some coffee salt. No, this isn't garlic salt. It's not coffee salt. There's no such thing. But I will show you what I mean by coffee salt. You're going to need just a regular spray bottle of water. You can use different glimmer mists. And I will show you very quickly. This is how I make my glimmer mist. I just use an old spray bottle, and then I use rubbing alcohol. You're gonna want the highest percentage of alcohol. So I just put, I'm just using an old bottle that I had, some alcohol in there. I use the RIT dye, whether it's in the powder or the ink one. And, oh, I should have shook that first. Let me shake that. I will try and go as fast as possible because I don't want to take too long. I don't want to make it real strong, although a strong one wouldn't hurt. So, and then shake it around. Make sure it's the strength of the color that you want. That's almost there. Come on. I think I need a little bit more. It's not strong enough for me. Well, I want you guys to be able to see it, so I'm going to make it a little bit stronger. I'm just going to pour a tiny tad in there. Ooh, I hope I didn't make it too stiff. Bandit, skedaddle. I'm sorry, I'm dog watching for my son, and the dog has attached himself to me, and I can't do nothing. I just got to let the ink come out. Come on. Why aren't you coming out? I might need to make it just a tad stronger. Sorry, I said this might be 2 videos. Maybe even 3. I'll show each technique. Now, if you want a little shine to your page, I tend to use eyeshadow, or I do have some of them, what do you call them? The Pearl X, whatever you call. But I just tend to add, come on out of there. a little bit in there. It just gives it some shimmer. It's all up to you. But this is just how I do my glimmer mist. And there's lots of tutorials out there that'll show you how to make your own. The reason I like to use alcohol instead of water, it dries quicker. The other thing you're going to need to have on hand is your heat gun, which I need to plug in. I should have been a bit more prepared. Sorry. Let me just plug this in. Okay, there we go. Never shake your bottle up and down like this. Always shake it to the side, because shaking it up and down clogs it. Oh yeah, look at that pretty pink. I'm just going to dry that real quick. And the reason, again, the alcohol dries quicker when you're drying something than the water does. I'm just going to dry that real quick so I can put my papers on there. And you can put as much shine as less you want. The other thing that I like to use is these little stickers, and they're for like writing on and then sticking it to something. What I do, I don't have my hole punch. I have a hole punch that is the size of this little top of the lid. I punch one out of this sticker. I spray a little bit, let it dry, then I punch the hole, and then I stick the sticker onto here so that I will know what color this is. Oh, look at that shimmer. Isn't that pretty? Can you see it? Look at that. That's so pretty. So them are some of the supplies you're going to need. The other thing you might need are some ink pads, maybe a makeup sponge. I like to use pom-poms when I do certain edges, and a little scrubby brush. And I will show you what we need that for here in 1 second. Let me move this stuff completely out of the way so that we can get started. The first thing I'm going to show you is the lace. Now, oh, I'm sorry. So the warm water that you made, this is what I do. I get my coffee, instant coffee, and I'm just going to pour it this way. I should have got my thingamajiggy, but... And I tend to make it more on the stronger side. And by using the hot water, it dissolves. Oh, I may have made too much. It makes it, the color a little bit stronger, but it dissolves so quickly. So once you have that, shake it. You want to make sure that you dissolve it good, because you don't want to get your nozzle there clogged. So that is how I do my coffee spray. And I just buy cheap instant coffee from the Dollar Tree. Oops. See how pretty that is? And then I just quickly, I'm just trying to dry this so that I can use it to spray on. Oh, I need to make sure I don't get my little fairy there. So there's the coffee, and I will show you what I need the water for here in a minute. Let me move this alcohol and stuff. So the first one is lace. Now, about 13 years ago, I used to belong to My Creative Scrapbook, and one time they were doing a challenge where we had to create our own paper. And now we didn't have to physically make paper, but we had to do something to create our paper. When we first moved here to Colorado, it was 13 years ago, there was a DIY show on TV. And it was a Christmas special, and what they did was, with $500, they came in and redid your house for Christmas. And one of the ladies wanted a Western theme. And what the lady did was, she got the lady's coffee table, because she said that the technique she was going to use, she could, after Christmas, use it throughout the year. And so what the lady did, she took the coffee table out, she got an old lace curtain, she put it on top, made sure it was real smooth, and then she spray painted it with spray paint. Where's my phone? And the technique was so cool. And so, let me just, I thought, where's my phone? Come on. I am redoing, as you know, some of you, my craft room, but one of the things that I'm doing is, I hope you can see this, is this cabinet. It's an old radio cabinet. Come on. Where are you going to focus? There you go. And see that little hole in there? That's where the speaker went. But I'm going to use the technique of the lace. Now, the only thing I've never done with the lace is actually roll over the lace with a roller. I'm going to try it on a spare piece of wood and see if it works. If not, I'll have to get a coordinating color of spray paint and do the technique on the top of my shelf. So, at my creative scrapbook, we had to do our paper, and I remembered that technique that that lady had done on the table. And so what I did was I got pink paper. I made my own glimmer mist, and I added a little bit of the, what color would you call that? Bronze glimmer mist on there because I wanted it to shine. And so I laid the lace over the paper, and then I sprayed it with the glimmer mist that I made. And as you can see, it left a beautiful lace pattern on there. And by the way, I won the contest, so how cool is that? But I mean, that just came out so pretty. And I love using the lace technique on lots of things, so I thought I'd share that with you. Now, you can use different laces. Now for this one, this was dyed in avocado paper. It's pink. I'm going to share with you. Now you want to iron your lace first. If you have some lace that is, oh, I'm so sorry. I knew that was going to happen. Let me just, they can call back. Okay, so if your lace, you didn't iron it, and it has certain little things, what I do is I stick it between a piece of wax paper and a cloth on the bottom, and I iron it. But in this case, what we're going to do, because I just want it a little bit straighter than what it is, I'm just going to spray it with the spray bottle. To make it wet. Not drench it, but that way when I go to use it, it lays flatter on my project, if that makes sense. And then just shake off the excess. So first we're going to use this piece of avocado paper. I'm going to lay my lace. Now, my tea. I'm going to use that first. And again, shaking it like that. You want to make sure that you, and from way up high, and I mean up high, I spray my paper because I don't want to take away from the shape. Because if you do it real close, it'll just run. And then, very quickly, I get my heat gun. Now this tends to take a little bit longer because it is water. It's not alcohol. Now you don't want to hold it on your lace because you'll burn your lace. Trust me, I caught my lace on fire. Oh, not yet. Oh, don't move. Now that I've dried a bunch of it, now I don't get as strong of an image when I use my coffee this way, but I'll show you. So once I get my paper semi-dry, I will come back in and spray a little bit more of the coffee. And I'm hoping this works. I don't really like doing this technique on all of these with the coffee. I'd rather use Glimmer Mist after I've done it, but I wanted to show you. It works really great with spray paint. But of course, you're not going to use spray paint in your image. Oh, it's smudged too much. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to show you with the Glimmer Mist instead of with that. Let me get another piece of this. Oops. This one's been avocado dyed as well. All I'm going to do is lay my lace. And again, this works great with the Glimmer Mist. And it dries a lot quicker. From a distance. Oh, come on, why are you spraying like that? It's not spraying right. It's spraying in a stream instead of like it's supposed to. Oh, it's not working. Well, this isn't turning out good. You need something that will let you do a spray instead of a stream. If you use Glimmer Mist, did it do it? No, it's not wanting to do it. This does work, trust me. Say sure, Virginia. I'm just using this Tattered Angels. I don't really care about the shimmer, but and then just use your heat gun. Oh my gosh, I got some on my angel. Or my fairy. I gotta move that. A little bit better. I tend to flip my paper over too and dry the other side because it tends to flatten your paper. I don't like ironing my paper. It's too tedious. And this one is not wanting to show up. The reason I think is it has like almost like a plastic thread. I'm going to use a piece of this lace that tends to absorb more of the ink. I'm going to move this before I ruin it. And I'm going to spray a different color, this brown. Are you going to spray that way too? I like cloth curtains better because they, again, absorb the color. Give it a little heat dry. And I just go rinse these off in the water, a little bit of soap. I'm going to carefully lift that off. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I was beginning to think, okay, these people are going to think I'm crazy. And I just turn it the way I need it. Now, I don't like my papers really deeply vintage, if that makes any sense, unless I'm doing something with it that it needs to be that. Again, I keep turning my papers because I do not want the, it helps dry it on a flatter way than letting it curl up. Oh, that's so pretty. And you know what I like about it? How the pink came through and then the brown came through. You also see, like I'll show you here in a minute. I don't have any Mod Podge and I haven't had a chance to make some. But another technique that you can do, you don't necessarily have to have stencils. And I will show you that here in a minute. Look how cool that is. Now, if I do want a little bit of a vintage feel to it, I get my squirt bottle. I wet my page. I get my sea salt or my coffee salt and I sprinkle it on there in certain areas. And then very quickly, and I will explain what sea or coffee salt is. If I want some of the granules to break up more, I will just give it, why is this? Because it's on spray. There we go. I just get a wiping. Oh, you know what was the other thing? The paper towels, and I forgot. Oh, where are my paper towels? I just had them here. I like to use a paper towel. Oh, there it is. Let me just grab this paper towel, and I will show you why you will need the paper towel. Sometimes if you have excess water, I just lay my paper towel down, dab it, oops, and lift it up. Dry it a little bit more. Now, coffee salt is just the instant coffee put in a plastic bag and rolled out really, really fine. Now, in the book, I'm going to show you here in a minute. The first time I did this, when I went to write on my paper, some of the coffee granules wouldn't let me write. So all I did was, when I got what I wanted, I quickly rubbed off the excess granules. This is just an old toothbrush I use for a lot of things. You don't want to rub so hard that you tear your paper. Now it's not completely dry, but you can get that effect of making it look vintage with using the coffee salt. It's just shredded. I call it coffee salt. The coffee granules. But really rolled out really fine. I just use an old garlic bottle. But look at, you can get still a vintage effect using that with using lace. Okay, where am I at? I'm going to stop here and come back and show you another technique. See you in a minute.